Hi, I'm Cassie, the English teacher, and this is my series about our family's move from the US to Uruguay. Today's video is a little bit different because it's really geared towards people who have already moved here and are starting the immigration process. So it might not be helpful if you haven't actually done that yet, but I hope that it will be helpful to people who are newly arrived and starting this journey. So when you hire an immigration consultant, relocation specialist, whatever, likely the very first step they're going to have you do is go get your vaccination records and your health card. Usually, most relocation specialists do not go with you for this because these are healthcare appointments. They'll tell you where to go, but that's about it. And I have found, that first of all, for us personally, we delayed it a really long time because we were nervous about the whole thing. But I know that people just arriving, like you're already kind of overwhelmed. I thought I would make a video to walk you through the process step by step by baby step, show you pictures of what the documents look like, what the buildings look like, and everything. So that's what I'm trying to do. If you're the kind of person who looks up a menu before you visit a restaurant, then this is for you. So you're going to start off with your vaccination records. And I'm really hoping that saying the word vaccination over and over again is not going to make me end up on the wrong side of YouTube. But you have to get a certificado de vacunación. That's just necessary. You have to get all of these vaccines. If you, we have kids, so we had records, right? We have their vaccine records. So we brought those with us. We presented them, and those counted. They made us the vaccination certificate with those already. My kids did not have to get new vaccines when they arrived. My husband and I were born in the 80s. Our parents did not have any records. So we were like, we don't have any proof that we got these vaccines, so whatever. And they gave us new ones. So you have to get the MMR vaccine and the tetanus vaccine. And obviously, those are not just a one-shot schedule. It's one the first day, 1 month later, and a year later. But you go through them, and it's fine. So the first thing to note is that this is free. You don't pay for those vaccines. You don't pay for this certificate. You can go in any mutualista. You can go to any vaccine center and make an appointment, and they will do it because they're reimbursed, right, by the government. So you don't have to belong to that hospital necessarily, and you don't have to pay for this. It's a free service because they value that service here. So bring your vax documents if you have them. If you don't, it's fine. You're just going to get new vaccines, and it's not that big a deal. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the vaccine clinic might look like. If you go to British Hospital, you need an appointment. They're usually booked out a couple of months. So, a lot of people don't want to wait for that. The benefit of waiting, which we did, we went to British Hospital for the first appointment. The benefit is they speak English, and it is much more like U.S. healthcare than other places here. And what I mean by that is everything is very shiny, very white walls. You walk in, a receptionist greets you with a computer. There's a waiting room. They call you. It will not feel unusual to you. I'm mentioning that because you might go to a different vaccination clinic and it will just look different. And I like the video I just did about bringing a pet here. She said the word casual. Things here are very casual. I really love that word because I'm like, yes, that's the word I'm trying to find, because it's not that it's medically the same thing. It's just a more casual setting. And so just be ready for that. So the first part of the casual setting is that, and this is literally everything you ever do in Uruguay. Like, you need to know they do not make a line, they do not queue. They get a ticket. There, it is a deli counter system everywhere you go. There is always a ticket. So if you go somewhere and you see a bunch of people waiting around, your first thought needs to be, where's the red round thing with the tickets? Because I need a ticket. Immediately do that. So you'll walk into a place. It will look 100 different ways, but there will be a thing to take a ticket. And you wait, they call you, you present your documents that you have to them, or you tell them, I don't have any documents and I need the vaccines for migración, and they will start the process for you. Okay. They will give you, it looks the same. We have been to 3 different vaccine clinics and 3 different mutualistas for our vaccines. We've been here a couple years. It's been a whirlwind. That wasn't on purpose. It's just what happened. I'm going to fold this over because I don't want to dox myself. It looks like this everywhere. It's a standardized form. This is the form you need, okay? The most important parts of this form are, you need 3 stamps and a signature. 3 stamps and a signature. 3 stamps and a signature. This is so important that I need to tell you so many times. You're going to get a stamp of the mutualista that did it. You're going to get a stamp with the doctor's name. You're going to get this weird little square stamp that I still don't know what it means, but it's on all of ours, and it's always, every time we renew them, it's on there. And the most important part, you need a squiggle signature. Our immigration process got held up because on my vaccination record, the doctor did not sign it. The final one. They just didn't sign. They did stamp, no signature. I did not know to look for that. I turned it in to immigration in the flurry of paperwork, and they were like, well, everything else is fine, but you don't have this. So I got to spend my Wednesday this last week going to get this. So stamp, sign. Stamp, sign. Please make sure. Okay. Oh, the other thing to note is, and this is, I mean, if you're an adult, it will happen in the first year, or kids have it all the time, but they'll have this like date of next, like when you have to return. Usually they highlight it. Put that in your calendar, because if you miss that and you've turned in immigration paperwork and that takes a little bit to process, and then it gets to somebody's desk and they say, well, this is out of date. This child was supposed to get a new round of this vaccine on their birthday, and their birthday was 2 months ago. Make sure that you program it in your calendar. Make sure that you go get it. And even if your file is done at immigration, just go to Mercedes 1004 and drop it off. Drop off the new vaccination paper, because that it can hold you up, and you don't want that to happen. It's a pain, but I'm telling you so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Okay. Once you have the vaccination thing done, you're going to need to get your carnet de salud. It's actually a physical card. It has my information on the back. I'm not going to turn around, but it's like a plastic credit card, library card type thing. We went to biotech both times. It was great. There's others. I'm going to talk about biotech because that's where we went. That's what I know. Okay. You need to bring your vaccination certificate to get this. So that's why I say the first step is the vaccination certificate. Second step is biotech. You're going to bring the vaccination certificate. If you are a person with a uterus, you need to bring a pap smear that was done in the last 3 years. You can bring that from the US. You can go to British Hospital and get it done. That's where I got mine done. It was lovely. It was not a terrible experience. It was a nice experience. I mean, as nice as getting a pap smear can be. It can be from anywhere, but you do need that pap smear. It's a piece of paper, and it will say, like, it's an official piece of paper that you turn into biotech to show you got the pap smear done. If you're a person with breasts who is over 50, you need a mammogram that was done in the last 2 years. So I usually just say, go do all of these things before you go to biotech, because biotech will give you the card for immigration, but it will have this asterisk on it that you're missing your pap smear or your mammogram or whatever, and you'll have to come back to biotech anyway. So might as well just do it first, So bring all of those documentations and bring your passport with you. You will walk in. I'm going to put the address up here and the front door, a picture of the front door right here. You'll walk in. There are lovely, lovely, lovely people sitting at the front desk. I've only ever had excellent experiences with them. You can make an appointment through WhatsApp or through their website, but you can also just walk in. When we've done the walk-in appointments, I have WhatsApped them before leaving the house to just say, like, hey, I'm coming in for a walk-in appointment. Is that okay? And thinking that if they're like horrifically busy, they'd probably tell me like, oh, no, we're super busy. But every time they've been like, great, we're waiting for you. It's great. So you can WhatsApp them. I guess I'll put their website somewhere on the screen too. They have a good website. Like for Uruguay, it's a really good website. Yeah. Before you go that day, you cannot drink or eat anything because they're doing a blood draw. They only do blood draws for adults. So for children, there is no blood draw. You don't have to worry about them. They can eat and drink whatever. They do still have to do a urine sample, but that's it. But for you, don't eat or drink before the test. You'll walk in, you're going to give them all of your documentation, your passport. Then you are going to pay for it. You have to pay each person separately, but they will accept like a US Visa credit card. I literally kept my receipts from this week so I could tell you the most up-to-date price. For adults, it's 1,476 pesos, which is like a little bit less than $40. And for kids, it's 1,192 pesos, which is about $30, because they don't have the blood draw. Blah. So you pay, you give them your passport. They will ask you for your address and your telephone number. So practice those, like saying those in Spanish. If they say dirección, you know what to say, your address. Teléfono, you know what to say, your telephone number. It's kind of chaotic because there's 4 different parts to this. You have a teeth exam in one room. This is like literally open your mouth. All right, looks good. It's very basic. They're not going to there's no x-rays or anything like that. It's not a dental exam. It's just kind of a quick check. Then you have to get the blood drawn. Then you do the urine test. And then you go to the doctor in the doctor's, a small doctor's office. When you meet with the doctor, they'll do the eye exam in the doctor's office. It's also a basic, just what numbers do you see kind of thing. You will talk with the doctor. They'll listen to your heart. They listen to your lungs. They take your blood pressure. They look at the blood test results. They ask you what medications you're on. They take your height and weight. And they ask you if there's anything else going on. Pretty basic little checkup. Like think back if you played sports in high school and you had to get like the yearly physical, and they kind of just run through a bunch of questions. Boom, 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 boom. If you have a medical issue, you shouldn't be worried that this could disqualify you, because it doesn't. They just want to make sure that it's under control. So I have friends who are type 1 diabetics who have moved here. And they just have to show that they know what they're supposed to take. They're under the care of a doctor. They've already transferred their healthcare here for that. Type 2 diabetes, cancer survivors, those kind of things. I have a thyroid issue. I was like, I have a thyroid issue, but like, here's the name of my endocrinologist. It's getting handled. You know what I mean? That's kind of the cliff notes of it. They just want to make sure it's getting handled. The other thing to know is like, if there's anything that they say, yeah, no, we don't want to approve this, or it's not that they won't approve it. They'll still print out the card. They'll give you the piece of paper. It will just have an asterisk and say, we need this thing to happen. So for example, a friend of mine during the dental exam, she had a broken tooth. They said, hey, you have a broken tooth. And she was like, well, yeah, it doesn't hurt though. They said, we're going to asterisk this. You've got to go get your tooth fixed and you can come back and get the asterisk taken off the card. So it's not a yes or no, right? It is okay, you might have to do some more things. But if you already do the PAP and the mammogram and the vaccines and everything is up to date, that will lower the chances of that happening. Does that make sense? I've had cancer survivor friends. Like, it's not a super invasive exam. It's just, they just check on things and make sure that you're being, like, that you figured out how to get your healthcare down here is kind of the main goal, in my opinion. I mean, I don't work there. That's my assumption based on all of the interactions I've had and talking to a lot of people. So they will print you out a card. It can take an hour. If there's nobody there, it will take 5 minutes. You can wait in the waiting room and they'll print out your actual physical plastic card while you're there. They also print out this piece of paper with their watermark on it that has like the results of your like blood draw and urine tests and things, and the doctor's signature. And then also, if there was this is where the asterisk would be on this piece of paper. If they said, oh, you didn't bring a PAP, you have to come back with a PAP, or you need to come back with your tooth fixed, or whatever, it'll be on this paper. So that's it. You'll be able to just go back. You don't have to pay again when you add things on. If you do them within 6 months, you just, like, I had to go get a pap smear and they were like, okay, when you bring in the pap, we'll give you a new paper and everything's fine. So I went and did that, went by myself, took the paper in, literally 3 minutes in and out. So it's one of those things that it sounds very bureaucratic, but like, it's actually not that big a deal. It's just, you're going to devote a morning to it, which kind of sucks. But and then this doesn't really fit in necessarily with that. If you don't have kids, this won't matter. If you do have kids, though, here, every child in the country has one of these books. It is a like thick little booklet, and it tracks their development from birth until 12. It tracks their vaccinations. It tracks their height and weight. And if you have kids in school here, the school will request this every year. Like the pediatrician, you have to go once a year and the pediatrician signs it. It's just like a well child checkup thing. It's just different because, I don't know, from personal experience in the US, the school never cared if I was getting well child checkups or not. Here, they really do. Your child will be like excluded from PE and field trips if they don't have it. So while you're making all of your appointments for vaccines and pap smears and things, also make a pediatrician appointment and go ahead and get this book started. And this is super important. It is like, it's kept with our passports. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot lose it. You need it. I mean, I take pictures and scan it into our drive, but you know what I mean? So this is like a kind of a footnote, but this is also really, really important. Okay. I hope that that helps you through this process. It is the first step. It's very daunting. So if you feel nervous, if you feel afraid, like, that's totally normal. Don't worry about it. Everybody does. It is what it is. But do all the things, and I'll see you next time. Bye.